What's going on, guys? Today we'll be working on a floor section replacement on a Suburban. Today on Hennessy's Garage. Alright, so the floor support is welded in and coated again with the weld-through primer, so we're ready to go with that. So what I've done is generally just lopped off the pieces of the floor that I don't need to get a general fit. So I'll be butt welding this in, trying to get this trimmed down precise as possible. I already have the lip here, and it runs into there and it goes flat. So I'm going to be trimming this out, this section right here, and then I'm going to trim right along the bottom of this line here, leaving enough material to fine tune it. But once I get that done, so this will actually sit better, then I'll start do a rough trim here, get rid of that because I don't need it. Then I'll screw the panel down and then start cutting through both panels, the new panel and the old panel, and that'll give me my nice perfect butt seam to weld the entire piece in, and then do a couple of rosette welds here on the floor support, and it should be good to go. Alright, so I cut that chunk out there, so I'll be leaving that all in there. Helps that line up there. So another thing is, whenever you're cutting these panels, you want to make sure to leave yourself locations or spots to line up. So there's the factory ridge here, lines up with that. There's a divot right in here, that divot lines up there. So it'll help you to make sure that your panel is located in the correct position. Alright, we're underneath the truck here. As you can see, here's the new inner rocker, here's the floor support, and here's the floor. So we're going to be tracing right along this line right here. We're going to trace it all around, and we'll pull off the floorboard, and then we'll measure 1/2 inch to 1 inch out from there, and that'll be our cut point. Do the same thing here. We can mark the floor support panel right there, mark that out, and then we'll know to drill where to drill the holes for here to do the plug welds on there. So let's get at it. Alright, we got the panel all trimmed up and ready to go. One word of advice, and this is what I read over and over again, and then just in the middle of doing it, I didn't even think about it, but make square cuts. It's much easier than trying to cut out this. I was cutting around the body support, so that's why I went with that goofy cut. But definitely in the future, I'll just be doing a square cut. Much simpler. Over here, we got this lined up, so once I do my cut, that'll drop down and fit in nice. But just for an example here of what I'm saying about cutting through both panels. So I left this 1/2 inch, a little more than 1/2 inch hangover. So I'll use self-tapping screw and I'll put that in there and lock it down, and a couple other areas in the panel. And when I cut, I'll be cutting through this panel, through the original panel, all the way along, and then that will leave a nice perfect gap for my butt welding. So if you pick that up, you'll see, here's the panel all underneath there. I'll be sitting on there, cut through both of them, and just go. So I'm probably going to do, 6-inch cut, stop, put a couple tacks, another 6-inch cut, a couple tacks, and now just as I go, lock my panel into place, making sure everything's lined up and ready to go. Right, here's a close-up to kind of explain my process of what I'm doing here. So this is just a little turned up piece of the new floor. So you got the floor that's in there, and what I'm doing is cutting along on top of the new piece and the old piece. So the old piece of the floor kind of comes under the new piece, this one overlaps it, so they're both overlapping each other, and I'm cutting them at once. So once that piece is cut out, you press down a little bit, see the floors come together perfectly. Nice, straight, level, even line with a little gap in there for your weld. So what I'm going to do is, here's the new panel sitting on the old panel. I'm just going to continue straight here, cut that, cut right up in here, just keep going around the panel. About every 6 inches or so I stop, throw in an attack, keep everything lined up. See, got there, across there. Once again, I got a self-tapping screw right in there, holding the panel in. These are old lines, don't worry about that. Then these are all the plug welds I'm going to have to do for the support and the cab support. But I'll do those after. I'm just going to continue. Oh, you son of a gun. Yeah. It's pretty hard to film when Kitty wants to come in there. Psst, psst. Awesome. You screwing it up, buddy. Psst, psst, psst. Alright, so where the new floor and the inner rocker meet up, I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. It was a little tricky because I kept the curve on the floor and had that line up with the rocker. So overall it came out pretty good. I'm going to have to do a little pushing and pulling on it as I'm welding it in, but overall I'm pretty happy with it. Alright, now I'm underneath the truck and I'm painting the weld seam along the rocker panel, the top of the rocker panel. When you're painting this, you want to make sure that you're getting in there and kind of, pushing into the weld because it is porous. So you want to get as deep into that weld and make sure everything's coated so no rust begins. After this, I'll let it dry, do another coat, and then probably wait about 2 days just to make sure it's fully dried all the way through. And then I came back with the 3M urethane seam sealer, which you can use on prime surfaces or painted surfaces to completely seal that off so it's not porous at all and no moisture can get in there and penetrate the weld. Alright guys, well there it is, all installed, painted and protected. Obviously the outer rocker still has to be installed. I can't do that until I get my parts truck disassembled and I can rebuild this whole area. Then I can lock in the outer rocker panel. But besides that, pretty happy with the way it came out. If you like this content, subscribe to the channel. There's a playlist for the Suburban they can go and click on. I got a couple videos up already of doing the inner rocker and the kicker panel and all that stuff. And I'm just going to keep on rolling videos out on the Suburban. Got a couple other vehicles going that we're doing work on too. So if you're into this stuff, sub to the channel. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching.